Hello everybody and welcome back. So we're on our first, let's just call this a midterm. We're on the first question of our midterm. And what have we got here? The exponential function f of x is c a to the x. So we've got two unknowns in this question, the c that we're multiplying everything by and this base a. But we are told that the graph passes through the points 1, 4 and 2, 32. And now we're being asked, well, what is this this function here? Is it 4 to the x, 5 to the x, 1/2 times 8 to the x? Lots of possibilities. And as we'll see is quite common, none of the above is an option here as well. So what can we do? How can we sort this out? Well, if we're thinking about the graph of this function, we might want to actually just set it up as a graph equation. So c a to the x. And then these points that they give us are x's and y's that make this statement true. So 1, 4, the y coordinate is 4, and we get c a to the 1. And a to the 1, we hopefully remember, is c times a. A to the 1 is just a. Our second point tells us that 32, the y coordinate, is c times a to the x coordinate, which is 2. So we've got ca squared. I guess there really isn't a better way to write that out. All right, so we have two equations, equation 1 and equation 2, and we have two unknowns, the c and the a. To understand what this function is, we really do need to know c and a. So how can we do this? How can we solve for both c and a? Well, there's a couple things you could do. You could rearrange equation 1 to get c in terms of a or a in terms of c. Those are all fine. This is my preferred way to do it. All right, take a look at these equations. We got c, a. The only difference between these two is the a over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide these equations. So 32 divided by 4 is, without a calculator, 8. C divides by c, and a cancels out with one of the a's up here. So now I know a is going to be 8. Now this doesn't mean that I just get to automatically race back here and say, the answer's got to be c, because it's got an 8 to the x. We do still have to double check that the capital C value is 1/2 in order to make that correct. So what do we do? Well, just take this a value and plug it into one of the equations. Maybe the first one. 4 is c times a. Well, that's c times 8. What do I have to multiply 8 by to get 4? Pretty quickly we see c is 1/2. So my f of x, which is c a to the x, has now revealed itself to be 1/2 8 to the x, and that is an answer of c. So we would bubble that in on our Scantron, and there we go. That's question number 1. We've got a few more to go. I'll see you guys for question 2 in the next video.